What's going on, world? Boy Ross 500. Just want to say I appreciate y'all so much for everything. All this engagement y'all been giving us. We're going to try to do our best to bring y'all these videos as much as possible. Keep supporting us. Dreamer Shorts, EI, the impact is really taking over, and we really feel it, and I know y'all do as well. So today's video will be something that I want you kids to really go sit down, maybe grab a notebook and a pencil and take some notes for it, because I'm bringing in a professional player. He's a cornerback for the Patriots. Played against him in college. Very physical, very hard to beat. But run that playback.
Grab my Glock, count this guap. Little bitch, I'm in my bag. Hey, y'all talking on the internet. Just don't make me mad. But them boys ain't.
I got him on the play. We went against each other. Played against each other at Kentucky. He went to Vandy. Look at him. I don't just look over there. He ain't like that. He heard me saying that. He ain't like that. Well, how about we just forget all this and introduce him? For one, I just want to say I appreciate your time today, brother.
My guy. Appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you having me.
This is the guy I was talking about. And he goes by.
What's up? Joejuan Williams here.
Give me the face, the bitch can't breathe. I sit in the trap and I'm late to the show, and I made it a habit, my fourth in a row. I just not used to these drugs on the road. It's not the drugs that I'm trying to promote. These baggies are deadly. Tell me who I'm.
Nashville, Tennessee. Play for the New England Patriots. Cornerback.
See right here, them Vandy. So shout out to Vandy. Shout out to Kentucky, SEC. We holding it down. These are what the players look like right here. You know what I'm saying? This is what the SEC look like. But, you know, this ain't about me and him today. We just trying to give all the knowledge we have to give back to y'all. So this man really gave all his time to come out here today. This is a true professional right here. I'm learning a lot of things from him, just like y'all can learn a lot of things, bro. So take these notes down. Get your piece of paper, get your pencil, and take these notes, bro, because these are going to be some key tips for y'all to learn. As a receiver, come on, y'all, this is what y'all going against right here. I'm just trying to pick his brain a little bit, see what he's thinking as a DB. What are some things that come to your mind for stance and alignment, just for DB?
Stance and alignment. First of all, you want to find your perfect stance. Whatever you feel like is your most balanced stance.
Right.
And then you want to apply that force through the balls of your feet. You always want to be on the balls of your feet. You don't want to be in a stance and you already got your energy back on your heels. You got your butt back. My first thought is, all right, I get my butt up. My energy is shooting through the balls of my feet, and I'm in a good balanced stance.
I think that is very important. Like, I can know that in my head, but the way he gave you the terminology is what you young DBs should be listening to, because he's making perfect sense. So if he gets into a stance right now, so you're not getting that bad stance, somebody like me will come off and push you on the ground. As you saw, that's what I do, because I catch people on their heels, and that ain't where you need to be. That's super important right there. I'm glad you said that. So what about like alignment? Like, do you think any differently? Like, let's say you got the top of the numbers right here and you got the bottom of the numbers right here. Let's actually say if we were actually lined up right here on the field and I come line up right here at the bottom of the number. I mean, I know I'm not asking you anything direct, but just what about your stance now, like that you would think?
I'm thinking about where I'm going to use my help. You're so close to the sideline
right
now. I can be inside leverage and use my this is what I call my non-moving bracket.
He's a defender. He's a defender as well.
Defender too. If you get out of bounds, you can't even catch the ball anymore.
Right.
And so since you're so wide, I'm gonna just line up inside and funnel you to that sideline. Now, if you get in closer and you get in tighter, I'm gonna take away the outside and funnel you to all my help, which is inside.
That's amazing. That's amazing. I mean, that's what I would think as well, because if I'm lined up right here, this is far away, so I'm usually probably in like a 3x1 or something like that. If I'm like a 3x1 is just 3 to this side, 1 over there. So if I was by myself, I would probably be on top of the numbers or somewhere in between this alley. So you guys got to listen to this terminology. They would say this would be the alley, that's the hash, and this is the top of the number right here. So me lining up right here in this alley, what you thinking now? And I'm by myself, and there's nobody over here. I'm by myself now. What are you thinking now?
And it's all about one, I would say, is understanding your dimensions on the field. College and high school are going to be the same. NFL is a little different, but just understanding the dimensions of your field and where you can use your help at. Now, if you're lined up in a tight split, which I call a nasty split, but if you line up in a tight split to the core of the offense, then I'm just going to line up outside leverage and then funnel all that help into the middle of the defense. I have my middle of the field safety right in the middle of the field. And so he's closest to all my moving brackets. And so I line up outside, take away any outside release.
So you're saying right now, I'm giving you a scenario. Line up right now. I'm in the alley. It's a 3x1, there's 3 over here, and I'm single by myself. If I'm a receiver, let's say I have a fade right here, and I get this look where you're man on me, and it's single high right there. Our coaches tell us right away, I'm getting that rock. Because literally in practice, I'll be like, wow, as soon as I see this look, I've been getting in practice all week, now I get it in the game, like single high, corner right here, press. I know now that I have this route that's coming to me, you know? DB, what about you? What do you think?
As a DB, I always understand 3x1 situation. If I'm at that backside one position, I know I'm hot. Now, if I know if I got to get down and press, then he's going to throw a go ball.
That's what I'm saying. But do you
That's
think?
the
But
easiest.
so you saying basically, if you do start pressing, do you think immediately we're going? Because if I'm in that position right here where you are pressing me and it is single high,
gotta look at-
it's automatically we're gonna take that shot.
That's what I'm saying. That's
you
why I'm automatically.
So you thinking that too? Because I'm just saying, like when I'm running out the huddle and I see that, oh, single high, oh, press, I'm getting the ball. But that's the same thing to you.
And as a DB, you got to understand. You got to understand where all your hope is. You got to understand which is the easiest throw, which is the hardest throw.
Facts.
And so you see, if I'm down 3-by-1 and I'm down here, press backside, it's only single high safety. That go ball is the easiest throw.
Facts.
That's
Okay.
one of the easiest throws.
Okay.
Now, if I'm playing off of that 3-by-1, then I'm looking for the slant.
There you
because I
go.
know that
I was just about-
They don't want to go deep.
Okay.
On with a corner playing off.
Got you.
And so it's all about just knowing. It's all about as a defensive back too. You got to know how the offense is going to attack you. Whether that's you got a 2-high shell, 1-high shell. Like you got to know the weaknesses of
All right,
your
now
defense.
you talking a little crazy to him now. That 2-high 1 shit. I said, ooh, he talking a
Right,
little
dude,
spicy to y'all. Write this stuff down, man, because it's serious. Okay, because you got.
The biggest point I would say is just understanding the weaknesses of your defense. Once you understand the weaknesses of your defense, you're going to start to understand how these offensive coordinators are going to try to attack your defense.
Right. You're essentially playing me off of the coverage you're in. You're not necessarily just coming to me and saying I'm going to press Ross and just play. I got to play. He got to basically say he has to play to his coverage, and that's determines how he's going to play his technique.
The biggest thing I came to learn is it's not all about, all right, mano a mano, I got this guy,
right,
no matter where he goes. You're playing the offensive coordinator. Once you understand the tendencies of that offensive coordinator and what they like to do and what they like to attack, it's just going to make the game a lot much more easier for you so you don't have to think that much.
If we are in a game and I've been showing them the same look all day, for example, is we got into this 3-by-1 again. We just keep using the same scenario. We got into this 3-by-1 again, and we've been showing you this, and we've been doing the same play, right? So you would say that there are certain plays where you like, oh, I've seen that look before, and I can kind of I can be a little aggressive now because I've seen that look. Do you trust your game enough to actually make those risky plays like that in the game, or do you just play every play off of just straight technique and
You got to play calculated. I very much promise you, even when you get into the league, repeat plays show up all the time. They like that play, the offensive coordinator is going to repeat that play whether they window dress it or not. And so you just have to be alert and be ready and be in tune in the game. When it's come to taking risks, take calculated risks. Believe in yourself, trust in your technique, take calculated risks, and it's all going to work out.
So I think as a professional, I think you'll agree with me on this. So when kids come to the field, don't you think it's a little hard for somebody just to try to play straight up on somebody and not think about a scenario in the game? Because when I'm usually dealing with professionals like yourself and I'm going against you, instead of going against somebody else that's maybe not a professional, they're trying to play all hard or just trying to play straight up instead of maybe you might play a different edge that you were working on in practice that week or something like that, because you know in the game you're going to be with a team.
The biggest thing when it comes to one-on-ones in practice, we all know as a team, as DBs, that it's an offensive drill.
Listen to this, y'all, please.
At the end of the day, don't get discouraged if you get beat on a one-on-one route. At the end of the day, it's all about working your technique. When it comes to one-on-ones in practice, work your technique, trust in yourself, work your technique. This is where you build your confidence. This is where you build your strength. Because in the game, it's going to be way easier because you have the help, because you have. And now you understand your leverage, you understand your assignment, you understand where your help is. It's going to make the game a lot more easier. But that one-on-one in practice is to challenge you, is to make yourself better. And so that's where you try to take advantage and grow your confidence in practice and trust in your abilities.
So would you agree that not everybody, and I'm talking about fans of football, maybe certain kids that didn't reach a certain level, they never get to understand that part of football? Because people that look on the internet, they're like, they're doing these one-on-ones, they looking at the guy just, grabbing him up, trying to be all physical and how he missed. They're not really appreciating when a guy is in a technique and playing in a certain way. And let's say if I'm in a technique inside and I'm playing off of you and you make a certain cut and I get right there, and if I was talking to a coach and we're inside a room where nobody's watching, he's like, that's a good job. You did your job. You got help inside there. We don't want to get beat outside, and you did your job. But to them, it looks like you got beat.
Yep.
That's why I'm trying to explain to these young kids that when you're doing these one-on-ones, you be a professional about it so you don't actually think that in the game you're going to be playing by yourself.
It's all about, as a DB, it's all about winning your leverage. Is whatever leverage you have, win that leverage. Whatever leverage, whether that's you got outside leverage based on this call, win that outside leverage. If you get beat inside, you get beat inside. But as long as you continue to win your leverage, you're going to be all right. Practice is practice, one-on-ones is one-on-ones. But the biggest thing that anybody can tell you is to win your leverage.
Let's say you got a big guy like me, a red zone threat. Are you thinking differently than you would play than you got somebody smaller? Because I think they want to know, all right, what's the difference between coming up guarding Ross, somebody that's big, but he can still move, But then you're going against somebody that's real shifty and attacks you quickly. Like how do you change up differently from in the red zone?
This is where film study comes in at. You study your offensive coordinator, but this is where the fine details of studying the player comes in at. And so me going against Ross, a bigger body, taller receiver, I'm probably thinking fade route here.
Right.
Once we get deeper into the red zone, though, my first initial reaction is I'm going to take away the slant. That's the easiest, quickest throw. I'll let you play to the fade. That's one of the hardest throws. So we'll play that. We have to have a 50-50 ball challenge right there.
So basically he's saying personnel. Know who you're playing against. So write that stuff down, exactly what he's saying on the people that he's going against. The personnel tells you how he's going to play his technique. So we all know at this level that you're in right now, that I'm trying to get back to, it's all about the next play, right? So how do you go on to the next play? Let's say if I, did catch a fade on you. Like, how do you bounce back from that?
The biggest thing you already said is next play mentality. Next play mentality is the #1 mindset you should have, especially as a corner, because at the end of the day, they make catches too. These guys are on scholarship. These guys are getting paid. So they're going to make some catches. But you got to be ready for that next play and have a short-term memory where you can drop that. All right, we got a whole nother game. We got a whole nother down. We got a whole nother series. You got to be ready to bounce back every time, because if you're focusing on your last play, I promise you that next play don't come right back.
Like, what do you say is the best thing that made you efficient in the quarter?
Well, one, did we get the win? As a team guy, you want to be a team player first. Did you get the win? Are you doing whatever you can to help your team win? And then two, when it comes to individually, you just want to be at a point where your coaches know that you are dependable, that you are trustworthy, and that you've done everything in your power for your assignment. All right, you might have given up 3-4 catches, but they was going against your leverage. You got beat on a slant and you were outside leverage. That's okay. As long as you're not having any MEs, mental errors, where you're getting beat to your leverage, or you're messing up on a coverage.
So you say it's okay to mess up, it's just how you mess up.
Giving away an in cut in your outside leverage. That's not getting messed up.
That's not the end of the world, right?
That's not the end of the world.
Right. I think that's being undisciplined, like you just said, giving that up, like you kind of knew that you was giving that up in a sense, because you got to give. Something has to give, and instead of like, oh, I'm giving it up, and then you forget that you were giving it up, then you try to go, and then I hit you with a double move and you're giving 6. Like, I think like that's where people get out of whack as DBs. They're trying to do too much, and they're not trying to do their job.
I mean, and it's all about doing your job. Once you continue to do your job, the plays will come to you. You don't have to be that person that's taking a risk every single play.
Facts.
And it's all about calculated risk.
Facts.
But as long as you're doing your job, the ball's going to come to you somehow, some way, and you're going to be able to make a play.
That's offensively or defensively, because doing your job, just a scenario for the offense, if I'm out here and there's one guy right there and another guy right there and he's running an out and coach gave me a must outside release, I have to do my job to must outside release this corner to make sure he goes with me, because if I do not do my job and I'm thinking about getting that fade, then he's going to not go with me and he's going to smack this out right here or pick it off. And a scenario for you doing your job, can you give me one?
Football plays hand in hand. This is a whole team game. So if I have to protect the deep thirds, I'm going to go and protect the deep thirds and not try to jump a 5-yard comeback when I have the curl flat player that's supposed to be right under them.
You got a deep thirds, you said? So I want them to understand. I want to actually, so they can get this.
Deep thirds. So let's say scenarios cover 3. You're at a corner.
So you're at corner right now. We're going to play the scenario out.
You have two vertical threats. You're the outside threat.
I'm the outside.
You run a 5-yard hitch, and number 2 is running a go right up the seam. My responsibility is to read that number 2 and to play 2-1 instead of like, getting all hungry and like, okay, I'm gonna jump your 5-yard out.
Right.
I have a curl flat player that's supposed to be right there. That's his responsibility. That's his job.
Because the thirds is your responsibility.
My job is this back thirds.
So I think that right now for good DBs, can you like kind of like play up a little bit and show you doing something else? Like you about to maybe play cover 2, or maybe you're about to jump that, but you're really getting back. You're just baiting.
So at the end of the day, it's disguise. Work on your disguise as a team, as a unit, as a DB unit. It's not just one guy. You want to work on your shell. You want to work on that pre-snap shell as a whole defensive unit, really, as a whole defensive back unit. But working that pre-snap disguise, getting that quarterback to have a different look, and then boom, ball snap. There's a whole nother look. You just want that quarterback to be on edge at all times. You don't want him to know where he wants to go at before the play even starts. Okay. You want him to make that decision right there when that play starts.
So I got one more question for you, and I feel like this is just kind of to get to know you and for them to understand of what this term means. So are you familiar with the in phase and out phase term of the DB?
No doubt.
Okay. You got certain corners that play in phase, and you got certain corners that play out phase. When I listen to this, if I'm listening to something that I recently saw, you see Jalen Ramsey talking about it. He says he's more of a interface cornerback. He wants to be right there with you, disrupt everything you're doing. I'm better than you. I know where you're going. I'm going to play my game. Trayvon Diggs is more of a outer phase cornerback. Watching that quarterback, more risky. You know, that's probably why he had a lot of picks and stuff like that. So what would you consider yourself?
I like to consider myself both.
I was just going to say, because you look.
I'll play both, because at the end of the day, it's all about taking necessary risks. There's sometimes, and it's all about trusting yourself and trusting whatever body position you're in. There's sometimes where you in a play, boom, you're out of phase. You
Right.
can't look. I can't look back. I can't go try to, do something like that. Like, oh, boom, I'm in phase. Now I can do some more things, work some more technique, take some more risk.
Right.
Like, you just got to understand that you got to work every single thing.
Right.
Every single situation as a DB.
So that's your identity. You know your identity. And that's what when I asked you that question, he seemed sure. It wasn't like a difficult question. Answered it simple. That's what the coaches are going to look for. They're going to see how well you know your information and how well you can deliver it. So, man, bro, those were some cool things that I feel like they're gonna love, bro. And I appreciate you for coming out here and doing this, because I'm trying to start something where obviously I've been on that level, but for me to get somebody out here that's still playing actively right now, it's huge for them, because it just, for one, it compliments me on my work and my knowledge to the game, just to match up with somebody like you and for us to just flow like this, bro. Amazing.
Hey, I appreciate you having me.
Appreciate you, man.
No doubt,
Real talk, bro. Hey.
And for all the kids, my biggest thing is for all the kids that want to be into the league, that want to get to college, that want to continue to grow in themselves through the football avenue. Continue to believe in yourself. Continue to build your confidence. Continue to work on your mental game and your physical game. All of that's going to pay off. You have to be consistent and disciplined with everything, whether that's on the field or off the field, whether that's you need to study or you need to continue to work the field technique, running routes, or guarding receivers. You got to continue to be disciplined and consistent with your work, and it's all going to show off on the field. So continue to keep motivating yourself and continue to keep elevating, man.
Hey, I like that. EI, elevate. Come on, man. I got a professional corner out here. I hope y'all took notes today. This is the type of stuff we doing on Elevate Impact. This is the type of stuff we doing. I got professional corners out here, bro. Come on, man. Ain't no YouTubers out here getting it in like that. Y'all tune in.
Grab my Glock, count this guap. Little bitch, I'm in my bag. Yeah, y'all talking on the internet. Just don't make me mad. But them boys ain't never been a threat. I gave them a pass.
Like, what's something that you want to make sure they take away from you?
The biggest thing I'll say is take responsibility for yourself. Everybody's in a different situation, different coaching situation, different team situation, different player situation at home, whether that may be. But take responsibility for yourself and never give that power away. Oh, it's this guy's fault. Oh, it's that guy's fault. No, take responsibility for yourself. Keep that power in you, and then you'll be able to find and change and grow from that. You feel me?
So you say responsibility, y'all know what I'm going to say. Y'all know ability I'm going to say. Because if not, you'll be like, you're not available right now. So be available. Availability. Be available, man. My man just gave y'all a real good one, bro. Please, please leave a comment. Drop the comments. I want to see EI all through the comments. When you say something, good job, Ross. Good inspirational stuff. Make sure you put an EI right after. If y'all my fans, listen to me. And go comment on the IG. Go do all that. Show love to his IG. What's your IG?
Joejuan W. Joejuan W.
We are trying to make an impact. We are doing that right now. We're not stopping no matter what, but help us along this journey, because this is the type of stuff we're bringing. This is valid information that you guys need, that you kids need. I'm not discrediting no YouTubers, but this ain't the jokey joke stuff. This is that real stuff, and we giving back to the kids. So run this up. You feel me? EI, bro, I want to see it.